Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Same. And thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. The truth is that there is need to regulate some kind of podcasts people do and some podcasters because I don't know where they buy their microphone and where they buy their senses at the same time. So they were having question and answer. They asked the question, what if they said that they want to bring slavery back in Alabama and all that? I mean, she was like, yeah, if people said they want it back, yeah, bring slavery back. Okay, now she said that I am not going to interpret it because the message is clear, right? So a black man picked that message up and he is trying to interpret the message for us, trying to tell us that she doesn't mean what she said, that she probably did not process the message or the question asked to her, and we shouldn't read meaning into it. Are you really talking to black people or you are talking to people that do not know anything, right? Now, I am not even mad because I absolutely know because they've been saying make America great. What do you think they meant when they said make America great? Again, this is also part of it, right? Part of make it better, make it great. Take us back to Jim Crow and the rest of it. And also, I have also heard black men saying, oh, if they were still doing slavery, I absolutely would buy myself several. And you want me to interpret this that she misspoke. Let's get into this.
So if everyone in Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone in the state wants it, go ahead. What do I give a
All right. Well, let's.
There's no way. There's no way. I don't even gotta know the whole conversation. She talking about if everybody in Alabama, I live in Alabama. If everybody in Alabama wanted, there's no way she said this without trying to get some attention. There's no way she genuinely could believe this. There's no way she could really say this. No, bro. No, bro. That's actually crazy. She literally said that because he backed her in a corner and she couldn't be wrong. She literally just could not, her being just could not be wrong. So she said, let me say yes, even though it's ignorant, but I'll be able to stand on my point and not be wrong. I need to track this. Wow. People aren't even hiding it anymore. They're not even, at least people used to at least hide it. They're not even hiding it anymore.
Why these points are important.
But you're not racist, right?
No, I'd say that
Okay,
I'm not currently exhibiting racism.
Oh.
And the reason that I wanted to bring this up was because I recognize that like when I was 14, like saying that was like really bad. I also recognize that we should, not take that lightly, because as soon as we start taking, even like 14, 15, 16-year-olds saying slurs lightly, that kind of makes it socially acceptable for kids to slur because, oh, well, they're kids. But like, what I've done is I have not only like had character progression, I've changed as a person and apologized for those things, but then I actively advocate against them. And I'd say that's the big difference between like someone like me that has done bad things, like been racist and said slurs in their past, and Donald Trump with these related issues from 1992 and the early 2000s, is he hasn't. And then I also would say that, there is a difference between, saying slurs due to racist socialization, learning, changing, becoming a better person and growing.
Everybody in Alabama wanted, there's no way she said this without trying to get some attention.
I don't know how many times we have to say this. I just really don't know how many times we have to say this. When people show you who they are, believe them. She said what she said. She meant what she said. And then had the nerve to double down and be like, your gotcha moments are not going to get me. No one is trying to get a gotcha. He asked you a simple question. Just because a whole state wants something doesn't mean that they should have it. Because like you said, as a black man living in Alabama, if everybody in Alabama agree to that, guess what happens to you? She meant that. She said it. So don't try to justify the reasons why she said what she said. She said it. Believe it. That's who she is.
everyone in Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone in the
This is why Trevor Noah said, if you want to know what's going on in the country, ask black women. The black man who I'm stitching is like, oh, she was just saying that because she was backed in the corner. You know she didn't mean that. Black men, you are blinded by your privilege of being a man, and some of y'all seem to forget that you're still black. You're still an N-word to many people in this country. This reminds me of the manosphere, and the manosphere was full of black men, like fresh and fit, who were full of misogyny. They loved their girl Pearl, who joined in the misogyny and talked about how feminism was the worst and women are terrible. And they got into a lot of conservative spaces as a result. And when their beloved white girl Pearl had a conversation with Fuentes and engaged in racism, so the misogyny wasn't a problem, but when Fuentes was being racist and being like, I'm against interracial relationships and whatever else, then all of a sudden the black men were mad. Fresh and Fit is okay being a misogynist, and they even talk about how black women are so undesirable and nobody wants them and everything like that. But when they get on a conservative Discord and they're called San N-words, now all of a sudden it becomes clear how this game really goes. That woman, that blonde white woman, saying if Alabama wants to bring slavery back because it's states' rights, just like abortion, she wasn't saying that just to win an argument. She wasn't saying that just to get brownie points or because her ego was so flabbergasted. There's a lot of white people. They're okay with slavery coming back. They're okay with Jim Crow coming back. But like the black men I stitched, y'all are really lost in the sauce. Y'all really think because there's 200 black men making millions of dollars in basketball and football and dating white women that somehow you guys are good, that you guys are Donald Trump. You're free and clear. You're privileged. You're not. And I know so many black women, like myself, we're getting tired of having to bail you out, and protest for you when ish hits the fan. And we're also tired of comforting you and being your therapist like Young Jeezy when ish hits the fan and you need black women to hold you down. Black men and white women are very much the same stereotypically in that way. And black men, I don't know what to tell you coming forward if Trump becomes a president. But just know that the messages were clear, the lessons were warned, but those masculine black women who are too busy being strong, masculine, ratchet, and loud, they tried to warn you, because we've already survived slavery and Jim Crow. We know how this goes, but you thought because there's Michael Jordan, maybe things would go different for y'all.
If everyone in a state wants something, go ahead and have it.
So if everyone in Alabama wanted slavery back, you'd be okay with that?
Sure. If everyone in the state wants it, go ahead.
Did you know black women were not able to file rape charges against white men until 1861? Did you also know that the rape of a black woman by any man was considered legal in some of the states until 1950s, around there? That's not even too long ago. And when rape itself officially became illegal, it was still not a crime to rape a black woman in some states. So you're telling me that if everyone in whatever state wants that back, you're telling me that they should have that back? That's what I'm understanding from whatever it is that you just said. Let's even go a little further. Did you know that black people weren't allowed to attend desegregated schools until 1954? Let me clarify. 1954 is when the law was passed, but schools still remained segregated until, what, 1968? Which isn't even that long ago. That's just like 56 years ago. I'm sure you're familiar with all the rest of the issues, but what you have to understand is that this is still a fresh issue for us, right? Some of our parents have gone through this period, right? And it wasn't pretty. And some of us still deal with that today, right? So for you to say that if states want to bring slavery back, that they should, is,
So this is all
I
I
don't
got
even
from
have the
this
words.
video, and if you think she doesn't know what she is saying or what she said, you must really be absolutely dumb, because she is very sure of what she said, and she is proud of it. She did not think of it. She did not process it. She just said, if that is what they want, so be it, right? So this is to tell you, this is absolutely how she thinks and how she feels about some certain group of people, right? Because usually when people ask you question, and you probably have to, like, lay back to check if you are okay, did I get the message? No, she did not think of that. She immediately get the answer. And this is also a wake-up call for so many people, a majority of us, because some of us think that like they are probably immune to some certain things, or proximity to some certain things excuses or exempts them from some kind of things. You lie. You lie. Now, like the person that was talking about how some black women were raped, and how back then they do not see some certain things as a bad thing. And like, they were really like doing them because it was their world against my own people. And it was the period of Jim Crow and some other things, right? And how do you want to, like, I don't know if some people really know their history, but of some certain things, you do not need to know your history to know that there are some certain things that are not right, and there are some certain things that are right. After all, we all understand the meaning of slavery, right? It is not like it's something we haven't heard, or something, a very big word that we are not conversant with. We all are conversant with slavery, and what happened during slavery, and how harmful slavery is. And someone, a full grown lady, I don't know how old she is, but trust me, even my nephew that is 7 years absolutely can talk on slavery, right? So let alone a full grown woman being ignorant of slavery. So I do not make excuses for anybody anymore, because some people are really always very quick to make excuses for some people. They will make excuse for a white woman. They would not make excuse for a black woman, and she probably doesn't know what she's saying. She probably said yes because she probably did not know the meaning, or she did not think of it and all that. Just forget about it. Don't think about that. Don't even bring that up, because you are about to be like, my enemy straight up. You hear me right? It's only somebody that did not go to war that would want to call back, or would want to, like, talk about war or going to war. If people tell you what happened and how it happened, and what they went through during that period, would you want to go for it? Or they always, that is actually unhealthy. They always say that a child that did not see where, or a child that saw where they separated a fight, right, would probably want to fight with somebody. But if you have noticed where people were fighting, and they were really, doing so many horrible things to themselves, and nobody bothered to separate them, would you want to go and fight? This is actually an adage, and I do not have to, if you accept you don't know anything, right? See, a lot has happened to Black people and it is still happening. And if you all look around so far, you definitely will see that everyone is fighting for himself and all that. I mean, a lot of people are also being selfish at the same time, and at the same time, not trying to fight for other people. Everybody is, some people, okay, let me not say everybody, majority of the people are fighting for their pockets and not fighting for other people. They are looking for a way to, like, make things better for themselves and maybe their family, and make sure maybe when there are no more, they will absolutely have something for their family and no other person. When you see me talking like this, I am always talking about some conservatives that do not even care about Black people. I know probably I am digressing, but it's still part of it. Some men do not understand that when majority white women are saying something, they meant what they are saying. They are not joking. They are not telling you to interpret it, or they are not telling you or asking you to defend them, because from nowhere young man absolutely want to defend her and trying to let us know that we probably do not understand English enough to know what she is saying, so that whatever she said right there, she did not mean it. I mean, she probably might have misspoke, right? And don't take it to heart. Don't think it is something. Don't say it as something serious, because she didn't mean it. How can she say such a thing? And I wanted to know that in Alabama, if something like that is ever going to happen, or they decided that this is what is going to happen, and you are a Black man, that they are absolutely going to start with you. They will start with you. Some certain things are a joke, or there are some things you don't interpret. There are some things you just take the message the way they come. Do not interpret it, because it is not something that is meant for you to interpret. It's either you grab it or you don't grab it, and if you don't grab it, that it's your problem, not my problem. This is to tell you how some people just feel about you. Some people you did not do anything. You did not wrong them. You did not upset them. But they just are not comfortable with you. They just do not want to see you around. They just want to drag you back to Jim Crow. They just want to take you back to back in the day when America was great, because that is absolutely what they are fighting right now. If it was great back then, why do you want to make it great again? See you all in my next video. Bye for now.